She is the only woman in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the recipient of the 2006 Roselle Radio Television Award. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame, she is Lesley Visser. She is CBS's Lesley Visser, and I am so thrilled, so appreciative, and so honored to have you on the show, Lesley, because you were the reason why I got into this in the first place.
One of my oldest and dearest friends. I actually last night emceed a dinner for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, you've lived it too, but you know, our childhood was more, I mean, it was just more baseball, the Red Sox, but isn't it bizarre that really, maybe, I don't know you this, I mean, if you had to have one quarterback for one game, I don't know, would you take Peyton, would you take Brady, would you take Rodgers, who would you take? Let's say we own the Super Bowl team. Who would you take for our quarterback for that one game?
You know what the hardest answer to that is? It just depends on the line in front of him, right? But I think I would take Tom Brady. I think I would take Tom Brady, being the homer that I am. And I always feel like there's a chance. Even with the line banged up, with just crazy receivers, everyone's injured, I always feel like with Tom there, maybe it's because I did grow up with the Steve Grogan era and the Tony Eason era and just the constant letdown in Foxborough, but I don't know. He just gives me such a warm feeling.
Yeah, and I debate this all the time because I say, you know, I think honestly, not just because we are Boston-born, because as you and I both know, I mean, I really do. The team that I live and die for is the Red Sox. I think I'm really objective about the NFL, but there is something. I don't know how many times Peyton has to show us, no, Peyton's the guy. Here comes Andrew Luck. I mean, you know yourself. I mean, Rodgers to Jordy Nelson might be the old Montana to Rice. So I do wish, when we own an NFL team, we are going to have to debate this.
When we buy this team together, we will absolutely go to town finding the next guy. By the way, John Lester, I wonder if they're going to get him back. I wish you so much luck.
How about Jake Peavy pitching for 2 World Series teams in 2 years?
He was like the fourth best pitcher on the roster, and now he's like Mr. World Series. Lesley, I want to talk about your show quickly because I love the idea that you have the show. It is the only show that is all women, an all sports, all women show on CBS Sports Network. We need to talk. Why did you do this?
I'll tell you what, you were on my list of people to come on it, but of course you have kids and a life.
I have a remote.
Yes, you have a life. I was going, not to retire, but whatever you call retire. I'm 61 years old. I started at 19 at the Boston Globe. But the great Les Mundes lives, of course, and he loves you guys, lives in your community. He said, no, CBS is going to try this, and it's very brave of CBS because every other network now can say, oh, we were going to do that or we planned on doing that, but CBS actually did it. So their idea was just to have women talking sports. And as I told you, Suzy, you were on my original list, but of course you have, oh my God, you have another life.
I have a life out here.
We have Lisa Leslie. We have Swin Cash.
You have Summer Sanders. I mean, she's incredible. Hold that thought. We have a heart out now. Can you stick around for one more minute?
Call me soon.
No, I've got a heart out. We'll have you back in about 10 seconds, maybe about a minute. How long's this out?
She'll be
back with you in about
seconds.
1 minute, Les.
Deal.
Back on the phone with Lesley Visser. And Lesley, again, I'm so glad that you were able to stick around through that break. What intrigues you most about this NFL season? It's been going in so many different directions, but I always feel like sideline reporters can look at a season differently because of the different story angles. What's your favorite right now?
Suzy, I'm, as you probably know, I haven't done the sidelines, even though I sort of created the job. I haven't done it in probably a decade. But what I would say, the Cowboys really interested me. I feel like they have a dominant offensive line, and those 3 positions, the quarterback, the running back, and the receiver, Des Bryant, DeMarco, and Romo, they sort of remind me of our old friends, the triplets. Right. You know, they do. They remind me of Aikman, and maybe it's too much to say Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith, all Hall of Famers, but I really do feel with an offensive line, which they have, plus that offense behind them, and as we know, it's an offensive league. All the rules are tailored for the offense. So I think they're a great surprise. Right now you have to say, well, it looks like the Broncos. But some teams are surprisingly bad. You would have to say the Seahawks have been a disappointment. 49ers have been a disappointment. But certainly other teams, which way will they go? The Miami Dolphins, who, by the way, they sort of sneaky hired Dan Marino. And since then, Tannehill has looked pretty good for the last couple games. So
it's incredible how he's changed. His poise is different, isn't it? His poise is different.
I'm sorry?
His poise is different, isn't it? Tannehill.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you saw this. Not the mayor, that crazy Boris in London, but somebody else in London came out today and said, we will do whatever it takes to get a game and to get a team in London.
I can imagine.
So,
Lesley, I'm so appreciative of you coming on. We will have you back every time I'm in the studio.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.